Hey, hi Sandeep. Good morning.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Sandeep.
Hmm.
Let's wait for 2 to 3 more minutes, okay, and then we'll start.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay, I think we should start now. Maybe others will be joining. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Fine, Sandeep. Maybe others will be joining, or maybe today is 1st January. So maybe if they want, they can join from tomorrow. No issues. Fine. So, Sandeep, sorry, I forgot. Can you tell me like your expertise on SQL? I think already you have mentioned the last week.
Yeah, I actually I am aware of the sequel, but I want some more. In ETL sessions, you mentioned we can write having class after the group by that
Okay,
type
okay,
of
okay.
depth.
Okay, fine, fine, sure. Sure, fine. Okay, Sandeep. So, what's the total experience, Sandeep?
4 years, sir.
4 years. Okay, fine, no issues. Perfect.
Yeah.
My voice is audible, no?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, fine, perfect. So, I think I have shared already. This is the agenda, okay, of the session, and this course is of close to 15 to 20 hours duration. Okay, 15 to 20 hours, and this SQL session is totally hands-on. So I will not be having any PPT like we have an ETL session. Okay. So, but here it is totally hands-on. And SQL, if you want to become a master of SQL, you have to do more and more hands-on because we have, I think, close to 15 to 20 keywords in SQL. So maybe you can understand what the SQL's what the SQL command does. Okay, you can understand the definition, but understanding the definition and implementing that in the real life problem or the practical problem what you're facing in your projects is different. Okay, so that's why I give more stress on the hands-on part. Okay, so we don't have any PPT here, so all the things will be in hands-on. And obviously you can stop me here and there whenever you find any confusion, or if you have any deviation, if you're unable to understand any topic, please stop me. Okay,
Yeah, sure, sir.
or if you're working in your live project, or if you're facing some problem that then read this particular query I have written in my project, but this is not getting executed, something like that. So obviously you should not share your screen and all those things, because you're working in a project in your organization, those are confidential data. But maybe you can ask me for a hint, and I'm always ready to help you guys. Okay, so in the last batch we used to do like this only. So the students, they used to ask me questions from their live project, so I'm ready to help that way. Okay, and the last
Yeah,
thing is,
sure.
whenever you are attending the session, please keep your notebook or your pen handy with you. Whenever you want to make a note of something, please make a note. Although I'll be sharing this hands-on sessions and everything, but keep a note of all those things. If you want to take a screenshot or whatever, you are free. Okay, so that's so
Okay.
just the thing is, like, you should be ready and ready with all the things. If you want to make a note on all these things. Okay, fine.
Yeah, sure.
So, first of all, what is SQL and why SQL, and why these days, like, go for any job profile, they will ask for SQL, whether it is business analyst, data analytics, DBA, database developer, tester, and all these things, right? They all are looking for SQL language. That particular candidate must have SQL expertise. Okay, and that's the reason we thought that let's start with the SQL, and then slowly we will proceed with some other language. Okay. Now, why SQL? So the thing is, like, if you go back maybe like 20 to 30 years back, okay, like uh, in many of the organizations, even in government organization and many private organization as well, they used to maintain all the transactions in a register. You might have seen, right? Long back it happens. They used to maintain all those things in a register, and all those things happens. Okay, but fetching data from a register is a little bit complicated and tedious job, right? If you are storing all the transactions in a register or in any other handbook, no, so it becomes very complicated and tedious task to fetch the data. But through SQL language, SQL is nothing but a language. SQL stands for a structured query language. Why it is a structure and all those things, we'll look into that. Okay, so this language will help you to fetch data as per your requirement. Okay, and requirement can be anything. Okay, requirement can be anything. As per your requirement, you can fetch data from the database. So that's the beauty of SQL. Okay, and you can transform data, you can customize data, you can apply transformation logic with the help of SQL. So that's what, if you have good expertise in SQL, you can do all those things with the help of SQL language, and you can play with your database, whatever you have. Okay, so welcome to SQL database, and all those things I will cover slowly, because these topics, we will cover simultaneously with other topics. SQL data types I will cover after maybe next week. I will cover this. Okay. So first of all, let's just start with the basic syntax of creating a table. So before creating a table, this is the syntax of creating a table. First of all, let's try to understand what is a table and all these things. So Sandeep, I think you are clear with okay, Vedanthan has also joined. Okay, hi Vedanthan.
Hi, Tony. Happy New Year.
Okay. Happy New Year. Yeah. Okay, so I think right now only we have started with Vedanthan. I hope you have not missed anything. Okay. So,
Okay.
sure. So, okay, so let's start with, first of all, table. So I think you all know all those things, but let me cover table. What is a table? Table is nothing but this is like a placeholder where you can store your data. Data can be anything: data of your organization, data of a college, data of a of a business transactions or whatever it may be. Okay, so consider like this is a table and this is an employee table. Okay, and you have employee ID, and then you have employee name, and then you have location, then you have date of birth, or maybe you have salary. Very simple example I'm taking. Okay, so like this, these are known as columns, right? These are known as columns. So in this employee table we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 columns. Now in interview, especially to freshers, they will ask that, okay, in a particular table, how many columns can you hold? Is there any restriction? So what do you think? Is there any restriction on the number of columns in a table?
I think no.
Obviously, there is no restriction on the number of columns in a table. In a table, you can keep 2 columns or you can keep 50, 60, 70, 80 columns. There is no restriction. Okay. But of course, if you know the concept of normalization, I will come to that. And I think we have covered in ATL as well. So there we'll see that why it is not a good practice to keep multiple columns or more than the suggested columns in a particular table. So always make a habit to keep a table very lightweight. Lightweight in the sense the number of columns should be less. If it is required, create another table. Okay, that will help you in query optimization as well. That will improve the performance as well. Okay, so but if the question is how many columns you can create in a table, so there are no restrictions. That totally depends on your wish. So in this employee table, these are known as columns. So we have 5 columns here. Now suppose the employee ID 1, employee name is A, and he is in Delhi, and date of birth maybe something we can take 27th 12 2020. Okay, and salary is 400. So this is known as one record. So this is one record of this employee table. Similarly, you can add n number of records. There are no restrictions on that. Okay, you can add million of records or whatever it may be. Okay, so this is known as one record in this employee table. Okay, so that's why when you want to store data, so first of all is like you have to create a table. You see guys, I'm not going into that schema, table space and all those things because those concepts are from DBA perspective, how to create a table space and all those things. But of course, we will see down the line that what is schema, what is table space. Okay, but that's not required, I think, here, that how to create all those things, because this is something which has to be taken care by DBA. Okay, so this is a very high level structure of a table, and these are the columns we have, and this is a record. Okay, and you can add n number of records. There are again no restrictions on the number of records in a table. That totally depends on your business scenario. Okay, hope this is clear. Okay, fine. So this is syntax to create a table. Okay. Now, generally testers, they think I have received, and this session is not only for tester. Okay, this is a generic session. Okay, but testers, they think that, okay, Tanveer, as a tester, we don't have to create a table, so we're not bothered about create table syntax. Okay, but whenever you are testing a scenario and if the scenario is very complicated, okay, the logic is very complicated, so many times you have to create a temporary table. You have to create a table and temporary table. So that's why you should know the syntax of each and everything. You should not restrict yourself that I'm not going to create any table, so I'm not bothered about the syntax of creating table and all those things. Okay, so this is syntax. Whenever you want to create a table, create table. Now, this create is a reserved keyword of SQL. Now, what is reserved keyword? Anyone? Do you know what is reserved keyword? Sandeep or Vaidyanathan?
No, sir.
No. Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
See.
the reserved keyword is like
Hmm.
the keyword which we generally use. For example, like union or these type of where these type of words are reserved keyword which we cannot create as a
Hmm.
table name while creating a
Correct.
table.
Correct. Very good. Very good. See, whenever you're going to a mall or any other hotels, no, what happened? A particular space is designated for the employees or the managers or the stakeholders of that particular mall or the hotels. You might have seen that, right? They will write it like, okay, reserved car parking. Okay, you might have seen that. So what it means that that particular area has been reserved for someone, so you should not park your car there, right? So similarly, there are few words. Okay, they are plain English words only, but they are reserved by SQL. They're reserved by SQL. So SQL only can use those words. You should not use those words. So here you can see that I have mentioned create. So create is a reserved word keyword. So it means this can be used only by SQL. Okay. Similarly, this table, this is a reserved keyword of SQL. So only SQL can use this. You should not use this. And now, what's the meaning that you should not use this? I will show you with the help of an example. Okay. So here, let me make this simple first of all. Let's go with the very basic concepts. Okay. Okay, so here you can see I'm trying to create a table employee, right? This is the table name, employee is a table. Now you have all the freedom. You can write, you can create a table with any name, employee or whatever you want. Okay, there are no restriction. But there is only one restriction that the name of table, what you're trying to create, must not be the reserved keyword of SQL. Okay, what I mean is here, employee is not a reserved keyword of SQL, but create is a reserved keyword of SQL, right? So if I will write here create table create, okay, then this will throw an error message. Why? The SQL engine will tell me that Tanveer, this create is my reserved keyword. Please don't use this to create a table. So this is a user defined. So the table name is a user defined. So here I have written employee. So this is user defined, right? I want to create a table employee. So there's only one restriction that the name of a table or name of a column must not be the reserved keywords. Is this clear?
Yeah, clear.
Clear, no? So this
Yeah.
must not be the reserved keyword. So if you want to write employee, that is fine because this is not the reserved keyword of SQL. If you want to write India, you can write India, no issues because India is not a reserved keyword of SQL. If you want to write tiger, you can create a name with the name tiger, okay? But if you want to create a table with the name table, now tell me, is this allowed?
No.
Yeah, it should not
No.
be. No, not executed. Yeah.
Yeah, because already table is a reserved keyword of SQL and you're trying to create the same table. Okay, so that's why you should never use a reserved keyword for creating a table. Hope this is clear.
Yeah.
Is coming. Okay, fine, perfect. So that is the one syntax. These basic things you should know. Okay, sometimes in interview they will ask you questions, or maybe like in a project you will face a scenario where this kind of things will come into picture. Okay, so here I'm trying to create a table employee. Okay, this is a syntax. Whenever you want to create a table, you have to write create table and then whatever name you want, just give the name here. There are no restriction. And again, you want to write this in uppercase, lowercase, so whatever you want, you can write that. Okay, SQL is not case sensitive. You might be thinking that you might have heard that SQL is case sensitive. So I will tell you that where SQL is case sensitive and where SQL is not case sensitive. But as of now, just understand that the SQL is not case sensitive. If you want to write this in uppercase, you can write this in uppercase. If you want to write this in lowercase, you can write this in lowercase. Whatever you want, you can write in that way. Is that clear? So don't bother about this. But if you work in other languages, maybe Java or some other language, no, those are case sensitive. The keywords, so maybe like Unix, if you work, it is case sensitive. So the commands which are in uppercase, you have to write in uppercase only. Okay. Similarly, here table. If you want, you can write this in lowercase. So no issues. It will not throw any error message. Okay. That's why I'm telling that SQL is case insensitive. Hope this is clear. Okay. Now the first column is employee ID. So this is the first column name, employee ID. Again, this is totally user defined. whatever name you want, you can give it. There are no restrictions on this. This is user defined. Name of a table is user defined. Name of a column is user defined. You have all the freedom to give a name. The only restriction is that name should not be the reserved keyword of SQL. That's the only thing. Okay. Then the next column name is first name. Then the next column name is last name. So here, just for the case of this, for the sake of simplicity, I have taken three columns here: employee ID, first column; first name, second column; last name as a third column. Hope this is clear. Any question on this, guys?
No, clear.
Okay, perfect. Now this is, you can see I have mentioned here number, then here is varchar2, and then it is varchar2. So don't bother about this. What is this? We'll discuss in detail about this. Okay, so I don't want to trigger a new topic here. But when we will discuss the data types, I will tell you that what is this number, what is this varchar, what is varchar2, and why I have written here 50 and all those things. Okay, and we'll see all those things with the help of some proofs as well. Okay. Fine. So from this small piece of code, what I'm trying to make you understand is we are trying to create a table employee. Okay. And we have three columns. For simplicity, I've taken only three columns. First column is employee ID. Second column is first name. And third column is last name. Okay. And these are the data types. So just wanted to give a high level understanding what is data type. I'm not going to detail. Okay. Whenever you are creating a column, no, you have to intimate, you have to inform SQL engine that what kind of data will be stored here. Okay. Okay, take it this way. Take it this way. You have thrown a New Year party. Okay. Thrown a New Year party. Then you, suppose you have invited 20 friends. So out of 20 friends, you should know that how many of them are vegetarian, right? How many of them are non-vegetarian, okay? And then maybe how many of them are continental, like that, okay? You should know the information. And likewise, you will inform your chef that, okay, out of 20 guests, 10 are vegetarian and maybe like 5 are non-vegetarian and the remaining 5 are like continental, right? So you should know this information, and accordingly, the chef or the cook will prepare food, right? So here, likewise, we have to inform the SQL engine that this particular guest employee ID, what kind of data it can store. So I mentioned here number. So my SQL engine will understand that, okay, this can store only number. So if data which is not numeric, if I'm trying to insert here, so SQL engine will throw an error message that, okay, Tanveer, you have already mentioned that employee ID will store number column, then why you're storing alphanumeric or alphabets. Okay, so that will be a that will throw an error message. That's the reason while creating a table, you have to inform to the SQL engine that these columns will store only these values. Okay, how this is clear? Any question?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, and this is the size where cat to 50. So this 50 means this first name can store data up to 50 characters long. Okay, even if it is 10 characters, that is fine. 20 characters, it is fine, you can store that as well. But if it is 55 characters, suppose first name is 55 characters long, so it will not store the data. It will throw in an error message that you have mentioned that it can be having only 50 characters long, but you are trying to store data which is 55 characters long. Okay, likewise, like when you're taking a lift, you will see that in the lift they will maintain and they will mention that, okay, maximum 100 k sorry, maximum like 500 kg or 700 kg, like that, or maximum number of people 8 9. Okay, sometime you might have experienced that if it is exceeding, so it will give you a beep sound. Have you experienced that? It will give you a beep sound, and then 1 or 2% will try to go out, and then the lift will start moving up, right? So similarly, here if you have mentioned 50, it means like you are mentioning that, okay, so this first name can store only data up to 50 characters long. Okay, and what's the benefit from this? You can tell that, okay, Tanvir, I will keep it 500 just for a safer sake. Okay, but what are the limitations and what are the benefits, what are the problem of all these things, why we should not keep this a very high number? We'll see all these things. Okay, but this is the purpose of keeping data type and this character length. Okay, fine. So this is a very simple syntax of creating a table. Whenever you want to create a table, you can create a table with the help of this syntax. Okay, now let me run this. And guys, I'm working on Oracle Live SQL platform. So generally this platform I use to give sessions on SQL. Sometime I will use W3 schools as well, but generally I use this one. So if you want to try it, you can just Google Oracle Live SQL, then it will ask to create username and password. So you just have to give your email ID, okay, and then it will create a version for you. Hope this is clear.
Yes. Is it a trial version or it's a free one?
It's a free version. Okay, free version. You can use it. I'm using this for a long time, so the license has not expired. So this is a free only. You can just so once you will Google no Oracle Live SQL, it will ask for your email ID and then password, and then this will create an account for you.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we try that. If you're facing any problem, let me know. Okay.
Sure.
Fine. Okay. So you can see that table created. So if you're working on different platforms, like I have worked on like a SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, Netezza, Teradata. So maybe like you're working on different platforms. So you will get this kind of information. You know, syntax is overall same. So don't get confused with the syntax. That then we in Microsoft SQL Server syntax is different. No, all at a very high level, the syntaxes are same. So if you understand SQL language, that is generic to all the platforms, guys. Okay, because when I was when I given this advertisement that I'm going to take the session, so many of the students they have asked this question. Tell me that I'm working on Microsoft SQL Server, I'm working on Oracle SQL Developer. So I told the same thing. So that doesn't matters. If you know the SQL language, that is more or less exactly same in all the platforms. Don't bother about that. Okay. So you have seen that we have created a table employee, and these three are the columns. Again, repeating, there are no restrictions on the number of columns, okay? But you should try to keep number of columns as less as possible because that helps in the performance and optimization as well, okay? And once I've created this table, the SQL engine has thrown a message that, okay, table created. But if you want to verify the table has been created or not, then you can use this describe table employee. It will show you the structure of table. Employee object table employee. Oh, I think describe employee. Fine. Sorry, I've used table here. So you just have to write describe employee. So if this table is there, it will show you the structure of the table. You can see this column, how many columns you have, employee ID, first name, last name, and you can see this next column null, right? Null is mentioned here. So don't bother about this. We'll discuss this down the line that what is this null, what is the significance of this, okay? And then type means what's the data type. So the employee ID, data type was number. For first name, data type was varchar to 50, and the last name varchar to 5. Okay, so you might remember that when I was taking the session on ETL, right? ETL, I have told you that you have to verify this table structure as well. That's what if the developer has told you that they have created a table employee, so you have to write describe employee table and check that this particular column names are there or not, data type is correct or not, data size is correct or not. Okay, and this information will be shared by the business analyst in a mapping sheet. So you have to validate that this particular column names, data type, data size is as per the mapping or not. You might remember, guys, like we have discussed this in ETL session as well, right? So
Yeah.
when correct. So when you have created a table,
Tanvi?
so yeah.
So, even while we discussing on the ETL session, you were saying about this mapping document and the functional spec. So if you have any samples, could you please share so that we
Oh,
can
Sorry,
understand
yeah,
like how it will.
last time as well you have mentioned. Yeah, sure. I will share. I will share. Maybe
Yeah,
next class, maybe tomorrow I will share. Vedanathan. Sorry, I think in the later session as well you have mentioned this, no? You or
yeah.
someone else, I'm not sure. Someone has mentioned. Okay, I will share that. Okay, no issues.
Thank you.
Thanks. No problem. Okay, so this is the structure. So just you have to use this describe and the table name, and this will show you the structure of the table. The structure of the table means the columns, whatever you have, data type and data size. Okay, what is this null? We will discuss this down the line. Hope this clear table syntax is clear to you guys. This is very simple. Okay, now the table has been created. We have created a table. What next?
Insert values to the table.
Insert values or insert data. You are correct. So we have constructed a house, we have constructed a building or apartment, whatever it may be. The next thing is either you have to go and stay there or you have to search for some tenant, right? So similarly, you have created a table employee. The next thing is storing data in this table. Okay. So first of all, I'm telling you or I'm explaining you the very simple concepts of all these things. Okay. So don't think that this create table syntax is over. No, we have many more flavors to this. We will discuss all these things down the line. And guys, don't be in a hurry. That then we just run up with this with the topics. Okay. So the patience level what you have shown in ETL, that was very good, and really I've enjoyed delivering this session. Okay. So similarly, I don't want to take this in a very fast way and just to run up with the slides or run up with the agenda and all those things. Okay. So just keep some patience level. SQL is very important. Try to do more and more hands-on. Okay. If you're getting stuck, please stop me. But pardon me if I'm going slow because this session is like that only. I cannot run up with this. Okay. Fine. So next thing is inserting data. So insert into. Again, if you want to insert data in a table, there are multiple ways. I will try to show you a few of the ways. Okay, but if any other way come to your mind, if you have any other suggestions, you can let me know. Okay. Insert into employee. So first of all, you have to write insert into employee. So here again, this into is a reserved keyword of SQL. Insert is a reserved keyword of SQL. And I have mentioned that this is not case sensitive. If you want to write insert in caps, you can write this is in caps. No issues. Let me write this in caps. Okay. So if you want to write this in uppercase, you can write in uppercase. If you want to write in lowercase, you can write in lowercase. If you want to write in mixed case, you can write in mixed case. No issues at all. Okay. Here again, you can see that I have created this table. I have written this employee in uppercase, but while describing this table, I have written employee in lowercase. Have you found any difference here?
Yeah, understood.
Understood, no? So they both
Yeah,
are
yeah,
same.
same.
So please don't get confused with the case. So where case matters, I will tell you that. Okay, but here, whenever you are dealing with the reserved keyword or the user-defined keyword, so the lowercase and uppercase, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, they both are one and the same. Fine. So now we're trying to insert data in this table employee. So the first of all, you have to insert into. So whenever you're writing insert into, no, the SQL engine will understand that the user wants to insert some data. Okay, user wants to insert some data. You see, the SQL is a very plain, like Python. This is a very plain English language. Okay. The only thing is how much analytical your mental ability is, how you can apply logics. That's the most important thing in SQL, and I think that's why most of the students I have seen that they face problems. They think that the SQL is tough. Okay, but believe me, this is not tough. That totally depends on how much hands-on you're doing. Okay, so insert into employee. Okay, multiple ways are there. So first of all, show me this very simple one. Employee ID and then first name and then last name. So what I have done here is I have mentioned the column names, right? You can see here we have three columns. I have mentioned the column names. So I'm telling to SQL engine that the SQL please insert something, some data into which table? Employee table. Okay, and which columns? Employee ID, first name, last name. Okay, and then you have to write the values what you want. The values is one. Suppose the first name is Raj and the last name is Kumar, so you can write here Okay, so the first name is Raj, and here suppose if it is Kumar, you can write here Kumar, Kumar, Kumar. Okay, and here this is a mixed case, so I can write here Raj, mixed case Raj, and here it is Kumar. So here you have to be very much sensitive with the data case, okay, because this is the exact data. So here the case matters. If I'm writing R in uppercase, this is very important. I will show you why this is important. But as of now, just try to understand that this data, this is the data, okay, and this is case sensitive. Here you have to be very much cautious, okay, you have to be very much careful in this case. Is this clear? Any doubt? Hello,
Yeah,
audible?
clear.
Okay.
Yeah, audible, clear.
Okay, so this is the syntax to insert data in a table. Okay, so the first of all, you have to write insert into employee. So from this, your SQL engine will understand that the user wants to insert some data into which table? Employee table. And then I have mentioned the column names. I have employee ID, first name and last name column. If you have some other column, you can write comma separated other columns as well. And then this is the values. So from here, I am trying to make understand SQL engine that this other values. And this is the corresponding values. If I have written one here, so it means this is the employee ID. Then first name is at the second position, second is Raj. Okay, then last name is Kumar. Okay, let me run this. So you can see one row inserted. So this has inserted one row. Now if you want to verify that the row has been inserted or not, you can write this and select a star from employee. So select a star from. Star in the SQL means everything. Okay, star in the SQL means everything. Okay, I will show you this star. This is very interesting. When we'll discuss count, no, we'll see that what significance of the star and all these things. You'll see where we should not use a star, because the star is again very costly keyword. This is known as a costly keyword of SQL. Why this is known as costly keyword? We'll see all those things. Okay, select a star from employee. So from this small piece of code, I'm trying to tell SQL engine that fetch me or retrieve all the data. Select means fetch me or retrieve. The star means all the data, whatever you have, all the column, all the record. Okay, from where? From this employee table. Okay, let me run this. Fine. You can see that we have inserted employee ID 1, first name Raj, last name Kumar. So you have this employee ID 1, first name Raj, last name Kumar has been inserted into this table. So here what we have done, first of all, we have created a table employee, and then we have inserted data into this table. Any question on this? Any question, any confusion?
Yeah, clear. No.
Okay, perfect.
Can we make
Now,
it into multiple entries here?
yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll show you that as well. Sure.
Yeah. And one more question is like,
Uh-huh.
so in the describe, we have given employees. If there are multiple tables, can we give it in a single line? For example,
No,
employee count, not possible. Okay.
no, that you cannot do. But if you want to see the structure of multiple tables, I will show you some shortcut techniques for that. Okay, but here you cannot do that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, sure. So this is one of the way that how you can insert data in your employee table, and hope this is clear and you guys might have understood this. Okay. Now there is one more way, or you can ask me a question that Tanveer, we have written here the column names, right? We have written here the column names, employee ID, first name, last name, and all those things. But already the SQL engine knows that in the employee table, I have these columns, right? SQL engine knows that in employee table, I have these columns. Then why I am writing this column explicitly? What's the need of this? Let's delete this one, right? Let's delete this one. Is this possible? Are you getting my question? Because the SQL engine knows already that in employee table we have these three columns: employee ID, first name and last name. Then why you are mentioning here? Shall I delete this? Okay, let me run this. Let's see what's output you're getting. Again, you can see one row inserted. So what you understood from this, guys? Let me show you the output as well. Oh, you got 2 records. What it means?
It means like we don't need to mention the structure of the table every time. So we need to just focus on the records which need to be inserted, because as already the structure has been described during
Correct.
creation.
Correct. Very good. So from the second example, we understood that it is not necessary to mention the column name, right? In the second example, the one which I have highlighted now, you can see that I have not mentioned the column names here. Okay, so I have just given the values directly. So when you're giving the values directly, your SQL engine is very smart. He will understand that, okay, in this employee table, the user has given this 3 column names. So this 3 values corresponds to this 3 column names. Is this clear? And that's why we have not given the column name, so automatically he has assigned this value to these 3 columns. Is this clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So it is not necessary to mention the column names. Okay, now let me insert a different record this time. Okay, 1 row inserted. Let's verify. Select a star from employee. Whenever you want to check the data in a table, you have to write this select a star from employee. It will show you the data which is present in the table. See, it is there to Sunil Kumar. So it means from this example as well, we understood that it is not necessary, it is not mandatory to mention the column name each and every time, because the SQL engine is smart enough to understand that which data corresponds to which column. Hope this is clear. Now, what about this? Okay. 3 Sunil. Now tell me, if I will execute this, what will happen?
So the last name will remain null, and it will update the employee ID and the first name.
Last name will be null. Okay, first of all, let me change this data here. Let me make it Aman. No. So last name will be null. First employee ID will be 3, and the first name will be Aman, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let me run this. Error message, not enough values. Why? Think. Think and tell me. Why this error message, not enough values?
Maybe we have not mentioned the last name as a optional one, so it considering it as a mandatory field, so it is looking for that value.
See, what is happening here is, okay, 1 minute. Let me show you one more example, then this will be easy to understand. Okay. Okay. Now tell me. Here again, I have mentioned only this 2 data, 3 and Aman. Okay, in this syntax. In the previous syntax as well, I have mentioned 3 and Aman, right? So this one
Because in
has
the yeah,
yeah.
in the table 3 columns, here only 2 columns. So that's why it's not previous record not executed. Previous one. Previous.
Okay. See. Okay. Okay. Try to understand this way. Okay. Uh, hmm, in your house, you have 3 guests. Okay, and you have 3 cup of tea. You have taken those 3 cup of tea in a tray, and you went to that room in which the guests they are sitting. I think there will be no confusion, right? 3 guests, 3 cup of tea. You will serve 1 cup of tea to everyone, right? This is simple, right? Because 3 guests, 3 data, 3 cup of tea. Now, second scenario, 3 guests and you have only 2 cup of tea. Now tell me what will happen. There will be confusion, right? To whom you have to serve.
Yeah.
Correct, no? There will be confusion. Similar thing has happened here. By default, your SQL is expecting 3 cup of tea. Why? Because you have 3 guests. Employee ID is 1 guest, first name is 2nd guest, last name is 3rd guest. Now your SQL engine gets confused here that I have only 2 cup of tea and we have 3 guests here. What to do? He gets confused, and that's why it has thrown you an error message that not enough values. It means I don't have enough cup of tea. You understood now? Is it clear?
Yes.
So don't
Clear.
think that the SQL will assign this 3 to employee ID because this is first, Aman to first name because this is second, and last name nothing is this, it will assign null. No, it is not like that. The similar case of that cup of tea, what I have mentioned you. If you have 3 guests and you have only 2 cup of tea, so you cannot serve to the 2% and you will leave other one, right? So you will ask for one more cup of tea, right? So similarly, or else you have to explicitly mention here. Okay, so what I have done here, I have explicitly mentioned that okay, this 3 is for employee ID and Aman is for first name. So if you have explicitly mentioned, there's no confusion. So if someone has explicitly mentioned that okay, this particular cup of tea is for this person A, this particular cup of tea is for person B, and for person 3, maybe the cup of tea is not there. There might be some reason. Okay, maybe he doesn't like tea, or the doctor has told him not to take tea, or something like that, right? So if you have explicitly mentioned, there's no confusion. You can see here we have explicitly mentioned employee ID and first name. I have mentioned that okay, this cup of tea is for employee ID and first name only. That's why this has not thrown you an error message. But here there was confusion. Okay, you have 3 guests and you have only 2 cup of tea. Is this clear?
Yeah, clear.
Sure, guys, clear? You want me to repeat this?
Yeah, clear.
Clear.
Now if we run the command select star from employee, third record must be 3 Aman null. Am I right?
Yeah, this one. Perfect.
Yeah.
3 Aman, null.
Yeah,
Very good.
3 Aman null. Yeah, okay.
Very good.
Null or blank record. Blank.
3 Aman,
Okay.
null or
The
blank.
blank.
Clear?
Okay.
So why this has not thrown error message? Because here you have explicitly mentioned that we have only 2 guests, right? That's why you have given 2 cup of tea, no confusion. But here the confusion was there. The SQL was expecting 3 cup of tea because he was expecting that imply we have 3 columns. So it was expecting 3 data, but you have passed only 2 data. But here the SQL is not that much smart enough that it will assign 3 to employee ID and Aman to first name and the null to or blank to the last name. But it is not that much smart enough, right? And that's why it gets confused, and the SQL engine has thrown an error message that I don't have enough values. Is this clear? So you should know the reason, guys, okay, why this is happening. If I will do this, what will happen? If I'll do that, what will happen? Okay. Don't only stick to this what I can say general case only, that okay, you want to insert data, this is none. We should know that if I do this, what will happen? If I will do that, what will happen? Okay, perfect, very good. This was the one thing. Let me check if I have some other. Okay, I was thinking to cover one more thing. हो गया, ये हो गया, ठीक है, हो गया, ठीक है. Okay, now coming to this one. Now before this, okay, before this I want to cover one more part. Let me delete data, delete from employee. I will explain you what is this delete, what is trunk and what is top and everything. I purposely have literally record from this employee table. Okay. Now suppose, sorry. Okay. Okay, now suppose if you want to insert data, you can see that here the first syntax I am trying to insert data. One, Rajkumar. Okay, let me delete this one. And from the second command, I'm trying to insert two Sunil Kumar. And third one, okay, this is incorrect. Let me delete this one as well. And then you have this three. So what I'm trying here is I'm trying to insert this three records in a single go, right? So I think there's a question, I think whether Nathan or I think Sandeep has asked me. Okay, so if you want to insert these three records in a one go, very simple. Just write the syntax, keep your colon at the end, okay, and run this all three together. Okay, this is one way. We have one more way. I will show you that as well. One row inserted, one row inserted, one row inserted. Okay, all this is clear, guys. So by this you can insert multiple records in a single go. If you want to verify, you can verify this. Select a star from employee. Okay, is this clear?
Yes.
So you have both the ways you can insert data. One by one you can insert. If you have multiple records to be inserted in a single go, write all the, what I can say, all the queries and separated by colons, and then select all the queries and just click on run. It will insert data all in a single go. This is one technique. Okay, then you have second technique as well. Insert all into the table name. Here the table name is employee, so write here employee, and then values are one Rajkumar, one Raj Kumar, two Sunil Kumar, and then third one. Okay, tell me one thing. Here when I have plotted this table, this I've used in uppercase, but here this is mixed case. This is upper and this is lower. Is this a problem?
Case sensitive is not a problem.
No,
No problem. Why?
SQL is case insensitive. SQL is case insensitive.
SQL is case insensitive with the reserved keyword and the user defined keywords, but it is case sensitive with,
Data should be
yeah, you should be
data.
very much cautious with the data. If I've written R in uppercase here, A and J in lowercase, so this is different and this is different. They both are different. So when you are dealing with the data, you have to be very careful with the case. Okay. Now here, what I'm trying to make you understand is I'm trying to insert multiple records in a single code. So this is the syntax. So you can do like this as well. Missing select keyword. Oh, okay. Fine. You can write select transform. It will should also work. Okay. 9 rows inserted. Oh, 9 rows inserted. Let me check this. No, just a minute. Let me delete this first of all. Deleted all the rows deleted. Oh, okay. Fine. I've deleted all the records from this table. I'm trying to insert this 3 into this. 0 rows inserted. Why? Let me check this. Let us start from employee or predictable. That's when this problem is coming a little font. Okay, got it. I think this will take 12 here. Yeah, because the table is there. Fine. Table. Okay. So this is again one technique to insert data. Let's verify if you have data or not. Start from employee. Fine, you got the data. So this is also one of the way that you can insert data, but you have to be careful. You have to use dual here. What is dual? I will tell you that about this part as well. What is dual? Where you can use dual, how you can do the calculations with the help of dual. But for the time being, just try to understand that this is the syntax when you want to insert data in a table, all in a one go. Okay, is this clear, guys? Any question here?
Yeah, clear.
No, clear.
No question. Okay. So these are few of the ways we have seen that how we can create a table and how we can insert data in a table. If you want to insert data one by one, you can do that as well. If you want to explicitly mention the column names, you can mention the column names. Here you can see we have mentioned only two columns, employee ID and first name. Okay, so I have shown you multiple flavors of this inserting data, so you should understand this. Okay, fine. Now next. Coming to this one, yeah. So now here what I'm trying to do is I have another employee table, okay, and this time I'm trying to insert employee ID, first name, last name, okay, and I given some constraint here as well. What is this not null? What is this primary key? We'll see all these things. Let me try to insert this, create this new employee table. Okay, tell me one thing. Already we have a table with the name employee, right? We have seen already we have a table with the name employee.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to create one more table with the name employee. So what will happen if I run this?
It will throw an error because the employee table is already there.
Perfect. Already an employee table is there. So if I will execute this, so the SQL engine will throw an error message. It will tell you that Tanvir, already you have a table with the name employee. And why again you are creating a table employee, right? But let me show you this. Name is already used by an existing object. So it means this particular name employee is already used. It is already there. Okay, so don't try to create the same one. But suppose this is a constraint. My project manager is telling me that no, I want a table with the name employee only. Then what should I do?
You need drop table
Perfect.
table name.
So the previous table employee, first of all, I have to drop that. Drop table employee. Okay. So if I will drop this, so the structure of this will not be there in the database. Table drop, that table is no more. Okay. Now if you want, you can create this table. Your table employee. So now the table is dropped. So now you can create a new table here. See, table created. Okay. Now how I can verify the table is created or not? Which command?
Describe employee.
Describe employee. Very good. Describe employee. Run this. Fine. You can see the table is created. You have these columns. Employee ID is there. First name, last name. Employee ID, first name, last name is there. Data type number, varchar 250, varchar 250, varchar 25, varchar 25. So you might be thinking that what is this? Not null. Any idea what is this not null?
We cannot leave that field blank.
Constraint means
Constraint.
We should have a value for that field.
Yeah. So it means your first name and last name are mandatory columns. So many times you have experienced that you are filling a form, okay, online form, and they will mark it as a red color asterisk. You might have seen that, okay? So what it means? It means that is a mandatory column. You cannot leave that blank. Have you experienced that, guys?
yes.
Right? You might have seen that you are filling a form and a small red color asterisk will be there. it means that's a mandatory column. If you're leaving that blank and if you're trying to submit the form, you will throw an error message that this particular value must be inserted, particular column data must be there, right? Similarly, if I have mentioned that the not nulls, it means this is a mandatory column, first name, last name, not null. This is a mandatory column. I want data in this. If you're not giving data in this will throw an error message. Okay, we will see that. I will try to insert it and we'll see that. But what about this? In employee ID, I have not mentioned anything here, not null, right? Then why not null is coming here?
Primary key of
Because it's
employee
a
ID.
primary key.
Very good. Because explicitly I have mentioned that this employee ID is a primary key. So if any column is a primary key, so automatically it will not be having any null values. That's a mandatory. Okay. So that's why I am not mentioning anything here in front of employee ID. So not null. But I mentioned here this employee ID is a primary key. So by default, the SQL engine has understood that employee ID is a mandatory column and it is assigned not null here. Clear, right? Okay. Now let's try to insert it into this. Insert into employee. Into employee 1 Raj. Now tell me, if I will execute this, what will happen?
One
It will throw an
Raj
error
null.
Why?
Yeah.
because we have mentioned that last name is not null, and we are mentioning now the last name is
Perfect.
null.
Very good. Because I mentioned here last name is not null. This is a mandatory, but here I'm trying to insert a null record. The SQL engine will throw an error message. It will tell that Tanvir, you have mentioned while creating this employee table that last name is a mandatory column, but then why you are trying to insert null record, right? Okay, let me show you this. Oh, internet connection is unstable. Just a minute, guys. I'm getting a message that internet connection is unstable. I got some issue with my network connection. Just a minute. Yeah. Oh, missing select keyword. No. Oh, values I missed. No. I'm audible. Okay. Is this clear?
Yeah.
What's the error message? Cannot insert null into
Insert null
employee
into.
dot last name. Right? You cannot insert null
Yeah.
into employee dot last name because they have mentioned last name as a mandatory, and I'm trying to insert null. Okay. Hope this is clear. Okay. Similarly, you
Yeah.
can try inserting data null
Yeah.
in first name or employee ID. You will get the same error message that you cannot insert null into your this columns. So these are your mandatory columns. So when you are going to test this, suppose this is the requirement, okay, and this is the mandatory columns, okay, and suppose you have this value. I think we have covered
The
this in.
first one, Tanvir, the error. Tanvir, sorry, the
No problem. Yeah.
error in the error message, the first long name. The what is that actually? Is that the system created table name?
This is system created. You don't have to bother about this one. Okay, this is system created. You just concentrate on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Cannot insert null into employee dot last name. It is saying that in employee table you have a last name column. Here you're trying to insert null record. You should not insert that. This is system created. You are correct. Okay, no, don't bother about this one. Okay, and this is the error message of your Oracle. So for each and every error message, Oracle has a number assigned. You might have noticed this, or down the line you will notice that this number will change for each and every different messages. Okay. This is clear, guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clear.
Perfect. Now, sorry, I forgot what I was trying to tell you here. I forgot what I was trying to tell. Yeah, got it. I think we have covered this in ETL as well. Let me cover the same thing here. So suppose this is the table structure in the mapping, the business analysts, they have mentioned that the employee ID, first and last name, they are mandatory columns. Okay. And this is the data in your this employee table. Let me insert this one. taking time to run. Yeah, one row inserted. Now my question is, let me show you the data. My question to you guys is, suppose if you have to validate this, that okay, let me show you the data first of all. Fine, this data is there. Now, if I am asking you guys that okay, first name is a mandatory column, how you can test it that first name is mandatory or not? Tell me.
Negative testing, negative scenario. Intentionally, we are putting the null values.
So first of all, that's perfect. So you should do negative as well. But first of all, you will do the positive testing, right? What you will do, select the star from employee, then
Yeah. First we have tried. Yeah.
where first name
It's not null.
is null.
First name is null.
So first of all, you have to do the positive testing.
Yeah, is null.
Is null. So you have executed this. It's taking time. This is taking time. I think my net connection is pretty stable. We're fine. No data found. So what it means, guys? What it means? No data found. It means in first name column we don't have any records with null records. So this is fine, right? But this doesn't guarantee that the first name is mandatory or not. So you have to do a negative testing. So what you will do?
Yeah, we have to insert the null records into first name column.
Intentionally, you will insert null record, right? You will write 1.
Yeah.
And you'll keep this as a null. Okay, maybe change the ID as well. Now, if you will execute this, what is your expectation?
So it will throw an error.
It will throw an error message. So if you're getting an error message, it means this condition is pass, right? It means this is not accepting null, and this was the expectation that the first name should not accept null. So like this, you should always do a negative testing by inserting records, and that's why I told you in set environment you should have access to modify data, insert data, and all things. Okay, let me do this one.
So Tanvir, like if we leave that value as blank, will it allow? So is it blank and null are same?
No, blank and null, they both are different. Okay, I will cover in the coming sessions that what is blank and what is null. But to answer your question, blank, null, zero, they are entirely different. Okay, entirely different. Okay, we'll see what is the difference. Okay, so you can see the as you can see, the output is cannot insert null into first name. It means it is not accepting null records in the first name. So from this we understood that the first name is a mandatory column. It means the developer has coded it correctly. So that's why I'm always stressing to do testing on negative testing as well by inserting data. And you know, like more and more negative testing you will do, no, your thinking ability, okay, will increase, believe me. Okay, so whenever you're doing testing of anything, try to think of the negative scenarios as well. Try to generate test data by yourself. Try to insert those test data. Then only you will be a smart tester. You can think from multiple perspectives. Okay, and the chances of slipping a defect will be very less. Okay, so guys, any questions so far?
Sir, if you put single quotation to the null, it will treat as a null as the name of the first employee.
Very good, very good. Suppose it will take this as a data now. This will be a data. Let me show you this.
Yes.
Still it is running. See, one row inserted. You can see this message. That means when you have kept this null in quotes, so it is considering this as a data. Now, if you want to verify this, you can select the star from employee.
Tanvir, if null is not a reserved keyword, so since it's in a single quote, it's not a reserved keyword.
See, if you are writing anything in quotes, okay, if you're writing anything in quotes, whether it is a reserved keyword or user defined keyword, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, see here. I will, okay, first of all, you
Okay.
can see that two null Kumar is inserted. This is clear now, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
this create is a reserved keyword, guys, right? But I have kept this in quotes. So if in quotes, if you're keeping a reserved keyword, that doesn't make any sense. No problem. In quotes, whatever you want to keep, you can keep it. So that will be considered as a data, whether it is reserved, whether it is unreserved, whether it is null, or whatever it will be. It is in quotes, so SQL will think that, okay, this is a data, no problem. Let me run this one as well. It's a bit slow today. Unique constraint. Oh, unique constraint. Okay, there's something different problem. I will tell you what this problem is. Maybe if you can understand, employee ID is a primary key, right? So already I have required this ID 2. I'm trying to insert same record with the ID 2. That's why I'm
Yeah.
getting
Yes.
this unique constraint error message. I think you know this. But let me check the ID 2, 3.
Yeah. 3.
3 create Kumar, 1 row inserted. So hope you understood this. So in quotes, whatever you want, you can write it. The only thing you have to be careful is it is case sensitive. Okay, that's all. You can see here, I have inserted create. This is a reserved keyword. I have kept this in quotes. That is not a problem. So I'm executing select star from employee. So now let's see data. It's taking time today. Fine. Now you can see create first name is there. All this is clear, guys. Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Clear.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine, perfect. So these are few of the the syntaxes of create, a few syntaxes from insert, how you can insert one record, how you can insert multiple records, where you have to mention the column names, what will happen if you not mention the column names, okay. And then we have seen the constraints, okay, that how to assign a column as a mandatory column, how to give primary key and all those things, okay. So let's stop here, okay, and
Tanvir, one
then
quick question.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have seen like couple of error messages. Will the error messages will be straightforward, self-explanatory, or we need to get practice to any keywords we need to make sure?
No. See, this is the good thing about SQL. The error messages, no, generally, so they will be straightforward. From the error message, you will understand the where the issue is. Okay. But in many other languages I have seen, so from error message it becomes very difficult to understand where the problem is. Okay. But here from the error message, you will understand that where the problem is. First of all, so far, the error message, what I have shown you, was that descriptive or not? Tell me. I
Yeah.
have
So
shown you a
for
few error
example,
message.
Yeah.
yeah, unique constraint layer, we have seen that unique constraint one
I
of
will show
error
you
message.
that. Don't bother about that. I have not covered that. I will show you. Okay. I will show you that part. But apart from unique constraint, what all error message? I think 2 to 3 error message I have shown you. I think that was very much descriptive, right?
Self-explanatory.
Self-explanatory. From that, you can
Yeah.
understand that what the problem is. But experience is also very important. Down the line, when you will do more and more practice, no. So from that, you will understand that where the problem is. Because nowadays, no, many times it happens with me as well. I have more than 10 years of experience, but even I am writing a query, if there is some mistake I have done, no. So sometime error message, I will get confused that where the problem is. Sometimes it happens. Okay, that is exceptional case. But most of the cases, no, from the error message, you understand that okay, this error message is because of this mistake. This error message is because of this mistake. So overall, your SQL error message are explanatory, descriptive. From that error message, you understand where the problem is. And I will show you all those things, positive, negative, both. But you have to just keep the patience level, okay, and be continue. So then I can show you much more examples and whatever the theoretical concepts I will teach you. Know, I will try to prove all those things with the help of example. Like here you have seen that I have told you that first name is a mandatory. Then I've shown you that if I'm not keeping that, if you're keeping it as a null, so what will happen? So that's what. So all the theoretical concepts we'll try to do hands-on. So then it will be more explanatory, and then that will make more sense to understand it. Okay. Any other question?
No, Sandeep, thank you.
Okay. So guys, I'm thinking to stop now, and I believe like these things you guys know already. Okay, but maybe some other things was new. You might have understood something which you don't know earlier. Okay, and please don't restrict yourself that okay, SQL I want only this that. Okay, because in my agenda, if you have seen, this time I have planned to cover from basic till advanced concepts of data analytics and many other things. Okay, you can see you have window functions, lol, cumulative sum, and many other things are there, entire lead lag. Okay, so just keep your patience level good. Okay, and be continuous, continue in the class and do all those things. Okay, fine guys.
Yeah,
So
sure.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sure.
sure. So okay, first of all, is the timing you're comfortable with the timings? Like Saturday and Sunday I plan 9 to 10:30. Is that fine?
Yes.
Yeah, fine.
Fine, no? Because early morning 9 to 10:30 we will finish this off, so the
Yeah,
whole
fine.
day will be there for you and for me as well. We can do our personal task as well. That's why I thought that we will start by 9 to 10:30. Okay, and so fine, let's continue with the class tomorrow exactly at 9. We will start. Okay, hope you have enjoyed this, but let me know if you have any feedback, if you want any other content, if you want me to speed up the things, if you want to slow down my speed or whatever it may be, do let me know. Okay, that will help me to plan the session. Okay, guys,
Sure.
thank
Yeah,
you.
sure.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day. It's Happy New Year today. Thank you. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.